Hello friends, so welcome back to my channel Mukesh English. This is Mukesh Soni. Friends, in this video we shall have a discussion of the question paper of first semester BCom and BBA generic English subject and the examination March-April 2023 examination conducted by Bangalore University BU, and the duration for the examination was 2 hours 30 minutes and the marks weightage is here 60. So before we go through the question paper, let's have a glance at the syllabus. So in this English, generic English syllabus, in this generic English question paper, you have this syllabus: skimming, scanning, reference material, editorial and brochures, job applications, listening skills, that is active passive listening. Then you have performance activity, role play, extempo, group discussion. Then you have language functions, that is how to introduce yourself for somebody, how to give the information, how to give the instructions, phrases, clauses, tense, subject verb agreement, idioms and phrases, and speech writing. You have 5 chapters in the course book: Last Leaf by written by O. Henry, All Creatures Great and Small by Ruskin Bond, and the poem Heart of the Tree by Burner, Daughter, another story by Lata Jagtiani, My Teacher by Helen Keller. So this is the syllabus of generic English first semester BCom BBA. Now let's begin the question paper solution. Now, in this question paper, the section A has the title grammar component, and under this you have the question number 1. Skim the passage and write a suitable title. And this question has a weightage for 2 marks. The birds were chirping and the sun was shining. Kevin and Juno were sitting on a park bench together. Neither of them was smiling. After a long period of silence, Kevin said, "This is not going to work. I mean, you are a dog person and I'm a cat person." Juno nodded. A tear rolled down on her face. Kevin went on, "If we got married and bought a house, what kind of pet we get? Cat dog? Somebody's going to be unhappy." So after reading this passage, I feel so, according to me, the title may be pet predicament, a relationship dilemma. Your title may also differ. So this question has a weightage for 2 marks. Just by writing a title, you are getting here 2 marks, that is skimming. Now scan the passage below and answer the following questions. So you have a very short passage and 2 questions are being asked, and you can read this passage. A phobia is an intense fear of feeling of anxiety that occurs only in a particular situation that frightens you. This might be something as seemingly logical as a fear of heights or as illogical as a fear of green. So, musophobia, fear of mice, peladophia, fear of bald people, or emetophia, fear of dust, or nigophia, fear of joking. So here you have 2 questions. What is phobia? And name the different types of phobia. So after reading this passage, it's very easy for you to answer those questions. So here, 2 questions, each for 1 mark. So scanning the passage here stands for 2 marks. So skimming and scanning has the weightage for 4 marks. I have already done the videos on this topic. You can see the links in the description box. Now let's move to the next question. List any 2 examples of online references. So this question is from referencing skills. So you can write any 2 examples of online references like blog post, um, websites, online journals. So anyone you can mention. This question has a weightage for 2 marks. Then write a cover letter for the post of manager at IBM Bangalore. So this is from the job application writing or the letter writing, that is job application. So here the cover letter writing means to say then application for the post of manager at IBM Bangalore, and the letter writing here stands for 5 marks. So before that, let me just give you a recapitulation that the letter writing should consist sender's address, date, receiver's address, dear sir, madam, subject, body of the letter, thank you, yours faithfully or yours sincerely, name of the recipient, name of the sender, or signature. So keeping in mind all the components, you can write the cover letter. You can also go through my video on this topic. The link is available in the description box. So the sample answer is here: XYZ number 3, First Main, Vijayanagar, Bangalore. Date 1st November 2023. The receiver, the HR, IBM, Phase 3, Electronic City, Bangalore. Salutation, dear sir. Subject, application for the post of manager. Body of the letter: I'm writing to express my strong interest for the position of manager at IBM Bangalore. I'm B in computer science with 8 years of managerial experience in software development field. I'm confident in my ability to contribute to IBM's continued success and innovation. During my tenure as a manager at Infocom Private Limited, I led high performance teams, executed strategic initiatives, and achieved notable results. My leadership style emphasizes collaboration, adaptability, and a commitment to excellence. I'm drawn to IBM's rich history of technological advancements and its forward thinking approach to solve global challenges. I'm eager to bring my expertise to support IBM's mission and objectives. I look forward to the opportunity to discuss my qualifications further. Please find my resume enclosed and you can reach me at so and so number or by mail. Thank you for considering my application. Yours faithfully, signature, enclosure, resume. So, this is how you can write the cover letter for any of the positions. Now, questions from the listening skill. Mention any four types of listening, and the listening has a weightage for 2 marks. So you can mention any two types or any four types of listening: informational listening, discriminatory listening, biased listening, sympathetic listening, comprehensive listening. Then, next question we have here: imagine yourself is playing the role of gas stove. Write a paragraph including the words given in the bracket like lighter, matchbox, flame. And this question is from the topic title role play, and this stands for 3 marks. So role play in the sense you're imagining that you are that object, and how do you function? How do you function? So it should be written in the first person. So you can just have a look at the sample answer. As a guesto, my primary purpose is to provide a reliable source of heat for cooking. When it's time to spring into action, there's a moment of anticipation as I wait the click of the lighter or the scratch of a matchbox. With a spark and a hiss, the magic begins as the flame dances to life, casting its warm, glowing embrace over the waiting pots and pans. It's those moments that I truly come alive as the heart of the kitchen, ready to transform raw ingredients into delicious meals. So here you can see it's written in the first person, and you need to imagine that you have become a guest stove. And how do you describe about you, about functioning, about your functioning, about what are the components you have as a guest stove? So like this, any question may appear where you need to describe yourself, imagining that you are that particular product. So this question has come from the role play, 3 marks. So I already done the videos on the listening and the role play. You can go through the links. You can go through the links in the description box. Then we have another heading here, do as directed. Now in this part 7, you'll be having the questions for about 6 marks. That's from the language functions. Introduce yourself in front of an interview panel. How would you introduce yourself if you are sitting in front of the panel? This has a weightage for 2 marks. So the sample answer says, hello sir, good morning. My name is Ashish Sharma. I have completed BCom with finance specialization. I have 3 years of work experience in the field of finance. I'm also pursuing an online MBA course. I also completed PMP certification program offered by Google at Coursera. My hobbies are playing cricket. Thank you so much. So you can, like this, you can give a brief introduction about you as per this question, and introducing yourself for somebody has the weightage for 2 marks. Next, what inquiries would you make in the following situations? So that also has a 2 marks. So you need to do two inquiries. Number one, you want to know that when semester classes are going to start. So you can say, you need to ask very politely, excuse me, sir, may I know when will the semester classes commence? Then you want to know the reason for the delay in the delivery of your product. Hello, sir. Could you please tell me the reason for the late delivery of the product? Question mark. So like this, inquiry for 2 marks, introduction for 2 marks. Now, the next question you have here, 4 marks. So 2 plus 2 plus 4. So give a set of instructions on how to prepare vegetable salad. So here you need to give her the instructions. So whenever we write the instructions, we always use the main verb first. It's like imperative sentence. For example, you ask somebody switch off the fan, so you are using switch off. It's not like politely you need to say, like a command. So here the same manner you are going to give instruction. Number one, wash and chop the vegetables into bite-sized pieces. If you are using lettuce, tear into small pieces. Add the vegetables to a larger mixing bowl. Drizzle the olive oil and lemon juice or vinegar over the vegetables. Sprinkle some salt and pepper to taste. Toss the vegetables to mix everything together evenly. Taste the salad and adjust the seasoning as necessary. Let the salad rest for 10 to 15 minutes before serving. This allows the flavor to melt together and enhance the taste. Serve the salad cold. So if any mistake in this instruction, kindly forgive me because I don't know exactly how to make the vegetable salad. Especially girls know better than us. So you can do this kind of instructions you need to make. So one caution note is here. These are the three important questions, that introduction, then inquiries, then instructions. They have the weightage for 8 marks, 2 plus 2 plus 4. And I have done the videos on this topic. You can see the links of the video in the description box. Next, now the most important grammatical items where some people feel very difficulty to answer. Underline the prepositional phrases in the following sentences, and you'll be given here 2 phrases. You need to underline 2 phrases. That's for 2 marks. So here the train traveled at very slow speed. So in this sentence you have to find the preposition. So which preposition you can see here? At. You just follow the following statement. The train traveled at very slow speed. So which is the prepositional phrase is here? At very slow speed, because of the preposition at. Then the girl in the new dress looks beautiful. So in this sentence we find a preposition here in. So the phrase will be like this: the girl in the new dress looks beautiful. The prepositional phrase is here in, the girl in. So prepositional phrase has a weightage for 2 marks. Then clauses, that's again has a weightage for 2 marks. And the question is like this: if you eat good food, you'll stay healthy. So let me just recall my previous video here. The clauses, there are 2 types of clauses here: dependent and independent. So if you eat good food, you will stay healthy. So in this sentence we find here, if you eat good food, it's a dependent clause, because if you remove the you will eat, if you remove this part, if you remove the next, if you remove the you will eat, you will stay healthy, if you remove this, you will not get the full meaning. It doesn't give any kind of idea here, it doesn't give any thought process here. So it's not a complete sentence. So that's the reason that it is called as a dependent clause. You will stay healthy, it gives a complete meaning in itself. If even if you delete if you eat good food, even though you will stay healthy, this will give us a full meaning. That's the reason that it's called independent or main clause. So this is how you need to answer. Similarly, there was a traffic jam after the school hour. So there was a traffic jam. So this is the independent clause. The main clause is here, there was a traffic jam. After the school hour is the dependent clause. After the school hour is the dependent clause. So this is how you need to mention here which is dependent and which is independent. So clause has a weightage for 2 marks, and I already done the videos on the prepositional phrases and clauses. You can see the links in the description box. Now, tenses, which always tenses have the weightage for 2 marks. Very easy questions. He blank to Delhi yesterday. So yesterday mentions about the past tense, so we'll say here he went to Delhi yesterday. The servant blank come when called. So when called in the past tense. Has not is the present perfect, so obviously did not also belongs to past tense. Did not come when called. So correct answer is here, did not. So tense has the weightage for 2 marks. Then subject verb agreement. Fill up the blanks with the correct form of the verb given in the bracket for 2 marks. Indian culture is or are different from other cultures. So obviously Indian culture is is a singular noun, and singular noun also carries the singular helping verb. So Indian culture is different from other cultures. The cost of the cylinder, the cost of the cylinder has risen or have risen. The cost is the singular noun, so obviously has risen. So this is about the tense and the subject verb agreement. You can see the links of those videos in the description box. Then one more question: slow and steady wins the race. Next, idioms and phrases. And two idioms and phrases will be asked here that has a weightage for 2 marks. So here you will be given him one short passage with the blank. Palguni reached college at blank to attend the final exam. Sanjay is a true blank who will face any change easily. So Palguni reached college at the nick of the time. Nick of the time means to say last moment. At the nick of the time to attend the final exam. Then Sanjay is a true daredevil. Daredevil means to say very strong, courageous. So these are the two phrases or two idioms you find here, which gives a very connecting meaning. So this has a weightage for 2 marks. Now, the last question from the workbook, speech writing. So here you have the question may be asked here, giving a welcome speech or vote of thanks. So here we have a question. Sanskriti, the cultural fest, is to be held in your college on 5th March 2022, and you are asked to deliver a welcome speech on the occasion. Draft a welcome speech, and the welcome speech has a weightage for 2 marks. And this question has come from the topic called speech writing. So sample answer: ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and a warm welcome to each and every one of you. It's with great pleasure and enthusiasm that I stand before you today on this auspicious occasion of Sanskriti, our college much anticipated cultural fest. I'm truly honored to extend a heartfelt welcome to all the students, faculty, and esteemed guests and participants who have graced us with their presence on this vibrant and culturally enriching day. Sanskriti is not just a word, it's a celebration of a rich heritage, our diverse traditions, and the spirit of unity that transcends all boundaries. Today, we come together not only to revel in the various forms of art, music, dance, and creativity, but also to pay homage to the profound cultural roots that have shaped our identities. On this occasion, I welcome the chief guest, Sri Malini Sharma, the distinguished Bollywood choreographer whose steps have been very famous. Welcome you, madam. Let us express our gratitude to our principal who has been the backbone of this event since its inception. Welcome you, sir. Miss Sunidhi, who has crafted this event so elegantly. We welcome you, madam. Once again, I extend my warmest welcome to all of you. May Sanskriti 2022 be a memorable experience for each one of us and may it ignite a passion for art, culture, unity in our hearts that will last a lifetime. Thank you and enjoy the festivities. So, this is how you need to write the welcome speech, greeting the audience and welcoming the dignitaries, and also speaking over the importance of the particular function, and at the end of the speech thanking everybody. So this is how the 40 marks questions from the workbook, 40 marks questions from the workbook. Now we will have a discussion for the rest of the 20 marks questions from the prose and poetry. You have 5 chapters, and out of those 5 chapters 20 marks questions will be asked. Here you have first section where you need to answer 2 marks questions. So out of 7 questions, you'll be given here 7 questions. Out of 7 questions, you need to opt any 5 questions, and you can answer either in one word or in the one of the 2 sentences. Each stands for 2 marks. Question number 1: who did Mr. Pneumonia infect in the lesson The Last Leaf? The answer is here: John C. Sue and John C. were artists. True or false? True. They were artists. List any 2 things that men will do by planting a tree. Men plants a friend of sun and sky, and plants a home to heaven. How did the grandfather impress the crowd with a python in the story All Creatures Great and Small? By slinging the python across his shoulders. The python's weakness perceived by the grandfather was reflection. That was his weakness. What was the reaction of the lawyer when he first heard Suresh Chabaria's distribution of property in the lesson Daughter? He was thinking about Deepa. He got shocked and he started to think about Deepa. The last question. When Helen heard footsteps, she stretched out her hands, thinking I was her father, teacher, mother. Option is here, mother. So these are the 2 marks questions and totally 10 marks. Now remaining 10 marks questions. Now, answer any 2 questions and you need to answer in 1 page each. So these are the 5 marks questions, 2 questions for 5 marks, so total 10 marks. Here you have a choice. 4 questions will be given, and out of 4 questions, you need to opt only 2 questions. So question number 1. How did the introduction of the word water awaken Helen Keller's soul in the story My Teacher? Miss Sullivan came to Keller's home as 6-year-old Helen Keller's teacher. Just before her second birthday, Helen had suffered from a severe illness. The illness left her deaf and blind. Miss Sullivan's primary goal was to teach Helen how to communicate. She did so by attempting to teach Helen the manual alphabet. The manual alphabet is a form of communication. Signed letters are pressed into a person's palm. The person feels the form of the letters in the palm and recognizes the words being spelled. Repeatedly, Miss Sullivan spelled words into Helen's palm while presenting the child with the object being described. For example, she handed Helen a doll and spelled the word DOLL into her hand. Helen thought it was a game and did not understand. She did not yet grasp that everything around her had a name. One day, Miss Sullivan took Helen out for a walk. They came upon a water spout, and the teacher held the little girl's hand under the flow. The water fell on Helen's hand, and Miss Sullivan spelled the letters WATER into her opposite hand. Helen suddenly made the connection between the two. At last, she understood that the letters WATER meant the liquid emerging from the spout. In her autobiography, The Story of My Life, Helen described this moment of recognition as somehow the mystery of language was revealed to me. Water was the first word that Helen understood. This single word was the beginning of a lifelong journey of learning and communication for Helen. In a book, she wrote about the freedom that water gave her. She wrote, that living word awakened my soul, the living word awakened my soul, gave it light, hope, joy, set it free. Now we are moving to question number 2. Explain the theme of environmental awareness brought out in the poem Heart of the Tree. The poem Heart of the Tree is written by the poet Henry Syllabus, famous American poet. There is the essence of playfulness and smoothness of finish in most of his work. This poem presents the beneficial aspects of planting a tree for individuals and for society. The poet declares it as an act of humanity. He not only appreciated the act of planting a tree, but also honors the amazing work of human hands that do this benevolent and noble act. The rapid urbanization and development are taking a toll on the environment. In today's scenario, when we are facing an environmental crisis, It's very necessary that children and the youth understand the need for planting trees. Planting trees is a sudden requirement for climate change. The scientific benefits of planting trees can be learned, but it is also vital to understand the emotion behind it. The poet does this by recognizing the association of a tree with nature and society. Apart, apart from human welfare, the poet also appreciates the aesthetic values of planting a tree by asking the question, what does he plant who plants a tree? In the first line of every stanza in the poem, Henry wants the readers to think about the answer. However, he himself gives an answer and states the overall importance of planting a tree. According to him, a tree proves to be a friend of sun and sky and contributes positively towards the growth of the nation and of nature. He claims that people who plant trees plant for a future and for the people they do not know. It's a symbolic act of goodness from which many other acts of goodness will sprout, will take birth. This poem is a voice for raising an appeal to plant more and more trees, as only trees can save the world from probable calamity. Thus, the poet goes on to highlight the theme of environmental awareness and appeals people to plant more trees in a very brilliant way throughout this poem. Question number 3. Decision alters destiny. Discuss the statement with reference to the story Daughter. The story Daughter is written by Lata Jagtiani, Mumbai based author. In this story, she brings out the patriarchal system where daughters are not given much importance in the family. It also portrays inequality, gender bias, despite of the laws. After Deepa's father's death, the lawyer reads the will in front of Deepa and four sons of Suresh, that is Deepa's father. According to the will, Deepa will be given the sum of 7 lakhs, which is already nominated to her in the form of RBI bonds. The rest of the estate will be divided equally among his four sons. The unfair distribution of property made Deepa disappointed. The four sons were neither surprised nor alarmed. A one-day cricket match was being played, which Deepa was watching attentively. She heard a loud cry all the way up the sixth floor. Out! Out! The whole team jumped in jubilation as it turned to search the empire's face for confirmation. The overweight man in the white coat and broad sun hat slowly raised his right forefinger amid louder cries of joy and cheer. The crestfallen batsman started to walk away from the crease and out of the playing field. His head hung low. Another enthusiastic batsman took his place at the crease. He readied himself to face the bowler, while the bowler began to pace back, rubbing his heel vigorously on the thigh, preparing for the attack. The 30-year-old Deepa was sitting quietly facing the window. There was a strange, unusual silence, stillness about her. She seemed to have died in lawyer's room. It was as if somebody else was sitting upright watching the cricket match. Deepa did not agree on did not agree with umpire's decision as he declared out. Sure up. Sure up, the lawyer also agreed with Deepa and remarked that the poor batsman must go with the umpire's verdict, even if it is unfair. Here, umpire's decision is very much similar to Deepa's father's decision. Deepa's father had never appreciated Deepa's work and did not give an equal share in his property. An emptiness and airless space could be observed in Deepa's eyes. She reminded him of she reminded him of a very dredged lake he had once seen, motionless and vacant. The lawyer remarks, "That's a life, my dear. When Deepa was leaving Shorab's office, Shorab told her to go by his car and he would arrange driver, but she denied and she decided to go by bus. Shorab, the lawyer, felt a sense of guilt. He might have tried to modify the will. He cancelled his day's work and promised his granddaughter to out for ice cream. He made an excuse to his secretary and left his office. He sat back in the quiet, air conditioned car. The traffic was crawling. 5 minutes later, they reached the Nariman point. The signal turned red. There was a pile up ahead. He stared out of his window, saw the rain coming down in sheets. He saw a familiar figure standing in a long line at the NCPA bus stop. She was she was staring hard at a book in her hand. She had neither an umbrella nor a raincoat, yet she appeared oblivious to the rain. She just kept staring at the book cover. An empty bus came, paused, and when it left, she was the only one that remained behind, still staring at a book. Even from that distance, the lawyer saw that she was not crying. Those were raindrops, not tears. Hence, we can say that Deepa felt herself alone in this world. Neither his father nor his four brothers attempted to brighten her future. Her dry tears showed a kind of pathos of girl child who is neglected in our educated society. This is how we can see here how a father's decision has altered his daughter's destiny. Last question for this question paper for 5 marks. Comment on the distinction in the preference of the elderly couple towards the exotic pet in the story All Creatures Great and Small by Ruskin Bond. Different people have different preferences towards pets. In this story, All Creatures Great and Small, the elderly couple has their own preferences towards exotic pets. In this story, All Creatures Great and Small, the grandmother was tolerant of the most birds and animals, but she drew a line at reptiles. She never liked the reptiles. She said that reptiles made her blood run cold. She feels very apprehensive when the python brought home by the grandfather and escapes the python which escapes from the bathroom and is not stopped before Aunt Mabel's arrival. Grandfather, on the other hand, loves exotic pets. He finds them more exciting than the ordinary ones. His love for the animal turns the house into a menagerie. Earlier, he had handsome, sweet tempered chameleon as a pet, but had to give it up since his wife dreaded the creature. When he brought home a 4 feet long python, grandmother nearly threw a fit and fainted at the sight of her husband coming home with a python curled around his throat, around his neck. In time, this reptile grew to a majestic 20 feet long and finally have to be caged and released in the jungle. So here we can see that the distinction in the preference of the elderly couple towards the exotic pet in this story, All Creatures Great and Small by Ruskin Bond. So friends, this is how I have solved this question paper and all the chapters, all the important chapters, the grammar and all the 5 chapters. You can find the videos on all the topics. All the videos links are available in the description box. You can go through it. So I wish you good luck for the examination. Thank you so much for watching this video. Dear friends, thank you so much for watching this video. You can reach me at mukeshenglish@gmail.com. Please do subscribe the channel, click on the like button for more videos on literature, workbook, pronunciation, grammar, communication skills, presentation skills, interview skills. Stay in tune with Mukesh English. Thank you once again.